Hey, in this tutorial we're going to take a look at how to save data in an Android and iOS NativeScript application. So this might be useful when you need to save something from the internet, maybe you need to save some value that the user has typed in your application. Whatever the case may be, it's not difficult to do, and we're going to see exactly why that is right now. So let's go ahead and start off by creating a new project. We're going to make this new project on our desktop, so let's say create. Now, we want to say TNS create example project. All right, now we're going to navigate into this project. And it's important to note right now, we're going to add two platforms here. We're going to add iOS and Android, but it's important to note that you cannot add the iOS platform unless you're on a Mac computer like me. If you're on a Windows or Linux computer, you are stuck building only for Android. So let's say TNS platform add iOS, and then TNS platform add Android. All right, perfect. So let's open that project on our desktop. Let's go ahead and open up, we can open up this, let's close everything. All right, so all of our magic for this simple tutorial is going to happen in our main view model inside of the app directory. Because this is a very simple tutorial, we're not doing anything extravagant here. I'm going to leave it to your imagination to do something more complex with this. So inside of this, the first thing that we want to do is we want to add a particular dependency. This dependency is going to be done by doing application settings module, and you can technically call it whatever you want, but the requirement here is what's important. So we're going to say application settings. So inside of this application settings, we can now save and load data from the persisted disk. So this, when you close your application and reopen it or reboot your phone, your data will still exist. So let's drop down here. We're going to change a few things. So we're going to change this counter equals 42. We're going to comment that out, and we're going to make it something else. So we're going to say this.counter equals application settings module, and then we're going to say dot get number, because we're going to be storing a numeric value. If you were storing a string, you would be saying get string, but in this case it's numeric. The key that goes with this value is going to be called counter, because it's just key value data. And we're going to set it to be a default of 42. So if nothing exists, it's going to be defaulted to 42. And we're going to hit save. The next step here is we want to drop down below the this.counter minus minus, and we're going to say application settings module dot set number, and we're going to use that same key value again, so counter, and then we're going to assign a value to that key, the value being this dot counter, and we're going to save it. So this is actually all we're going to do in this application. So I've saved it now. I'm going to go to my terminal to build it and run it in Android. So I'm going to say TNS run Android, and I'm going to bring my simulator back into the foreground, and we're going to see this magic happen. All right, so it loaded our app in the simulator. Now, if all went well, if there's no typos, if I didn't make any careless mistakes here, this 42, which was that default value, will decrease when we hit the tap button. And then I'm going to exit out of the app and load it again, and hopefully that number persists. So we're going to tap it a few times. Perfect. And now notice we're on 38. So if I exit out, and if I open it again, bam, we've still got 38 there. So let's go ahead and test that inside of the iOS simulator as well. All right, perfect. So our app loaded, we have 42 because this is the first time we installed it to our iOS simulator. I'm going to tap it a few times. I'm going to go click the hardware home button and reload this application. And the number persisted. So the use of application settings worked out for us. So just to reiterate here what we've done, we've included this module. We are now, when the application loads inside of the constructor, we are getting whatever numeric value exists in this counter key and storing it to counter. And then for the tap action function, we are calling the set function, so we're going to assign a new value to this counter, this new value being this decremented value. So it wasn't particularly hard to do this. So if you're using strings, you could easily serialize JSON data into a string and store that, and that wouldn't be an issue at all.